Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the part 2 of the single readings that I did last week. I did a single read basically for singles who are trying to work out what it is that they want from their next relationship, right? And I said in that video that I would do a part 2 looking at what it is that you need to become in order to get the person that you want, right? So the last video, which was called Your Future Partner, we looked at kind of the attributes that you would be looking at, right? And in this video, we're going to be looking at the attributes in yourself that you need to cultivate in order to welcome and bring in this new energy. So if you want to look at the Your Future Partner video, then I will put a link in the description box below, or you can just scroll through my channel to find it. So let's get into it. Right. We're going to use the tarot as usual to start off with. I'm going to pull 3 cards about what attributes you need to have in order to bring in a new relationship into your life. What attributes do you need to have in order to bring in a new relationship into your life? Okay. Okie dokie. I'll hold them up for you one by one. We have the 7 of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. Always really nice to see love energy present in a reading that is a love reading, right? So when I say love energy, I mean cups, right? Because the cups equate to love in our hearts, right? So we're starting with the 7 of Cups, which always speaks to me of options and sometimes confusion. So I feel as though the person that you need to become straight off the bat is somebody who no longer get so bogged down by their options. So when we have too many options, it can be really hard to, focus on any one and commit to anyone. So I'm not saying like you've got loads of romantic opportunities and potentials, because you may do, or what it may actually be is that you perceive yourself to have lots of romantic opportunities, right? And what I mean by that is that there is a time in most of our lives when we really do, okay? So when we're young, when we're in new jobs, when we're like going into university, when we're going out partying and clubbing all the time, then we have multiple opportunities to meet multiple people. If we're in a phase of our lives when we're on dating websites and we're talking to multiple people, then again, we have multiple ways to meet multiple people. But what this reading is saying to me now is if you want to find somebody, you have to do something a little bit different. And emphasis needs to be on quality rather than quantity, okay? So the dating market has changed a lot, even since like I was a teenager to now. And it's very much kind of about more, right? More choices, widening your pool, that kind of thing. And this reading is feeling as though it wants you to do the exact opposite. It wants you to get serious about who you are and what you want, and start to zone in and focus only on those people that it seems to make sense to. So it's about making your options actually smaller and then committing to what you have, right? So I hope that makes sense there. So you need to become someone who is less focused on meeting lots of people and more focused on meeting just that one person, okay? So I know that kind of goes against advice, which is to keep your pool as wide as possible in order to meet that person, right? But I feel like, you need to be doing the opposite. You need to be focusing on the one. You need to be focusing on the fact that it's only going to take one person to meet that desire of yours to no longer be single. And you need to focus on having space in your life for that one person, right? And the way in which you need to do that is, as we mentioned in the last video, you need to be focusing on what it is that you want, right? But in terms of what you need to be cultivating, you need to be leading with your heart at this time rather than your head. So instead of looking at all the things that you want in a person from a logical standpoint, you need to be looking at it from an emotional standpoint, because it's this emotional connection that is going to make this relationship long term. So you need to look at what it is that you need to feel needed and nurtured. And in turn, you need to become the nurturer, okay? So looking after key people in your life that need you and that appreciate you is going to really help you to open your heart up to having a life with another person. So you may have children, you may have nieces and nephews, you may have elderly parents. There are people in your life and things in your life that need your nurture and that need your care. So it will also be a great time to enter into a spirit of creativity within yourself, because that creativity within yourself is going to, again, help you align with the right person. When you're living in full bloom, when you're living in a state of grace in which you are practicing the things that make you happy, that's also when you're going to find this other person. Okay, so you're being asked to really kind of embody this feminine quality of nurture and love when it comes to yourself, when it comes to the people close to you, when it comes to the things that you enjoy doing. By nurturing yourself, so if we wanted to make this a quick buzzword, self-care, self-love, right? By nurturing yourself and those closest to you and those projects closest to you, it's going to really help your mindset to shift. It's going to really put you in your heart space, and it's going to allow you to open up to the possibility of meeting someone. You're also being asked to be a joyful person, right? Like, being single is not the worst thing in the world by any means, okay? It gives us the time that we need to become our more full selves. I've done a reading about that actually, which you might want to check out on my channel as well. But yeah, it gives us the time to become our more full selves, right? It gives us the time to cultivate other relationships. And it gives us the time to remember that love is expansive. It's not just between two people. So there's the Two of Cups in Tarot, which is very much about like that kind of love relationship. And the Three of Cups is very much about that raw love being expanded to all people in your life. And that's where you're at right now. You need to become a person who shows love to all around you, to the people all around you, in a way that feels good and expansive to you. So I'm getting the feeling that you may be somebody who keeps yourself to yourself in terms of your emotions and in terms of your heart. You may not find it necessarily easy to be vulnerable with other people or to show other people what you may perceive as weakness. The person you need, if you want to, the person you could work towards becoming is someone who is able to be a lot more gracious with their feelings and their emotions and their compassion. Someone who is able to be a lot less scared about opening up and being vulnerable to people, right? We don't need to be foolish in the sense that we do things or say things that put us in a dangerous position. No, that's not what I'm saying, right? Don't be giving anybody any money. I've been watching The Tinder Swindler. So yeah, no need to open yourself up to manipulation, right? But it's kind of as though you need to be able to trust yourself and love yourself and guard yourself enough to be able to approach life in a really soft, grounded and open way, where you're able to be yourself and assess whether the person in front of you deserves that or not. Okay? I hope that makes sense. This is definitely a reading about unfolding and opening, right? Unfolding and opening, allowing, very feminine principles. So this isn't necessarily telling you that you need to go out and hunt for somebody. It's much more focused on becoming the version of yourself that will attract that person to you. Okay. I think I just whacked the camera. Apologies. So here we have the Temperance, the Eight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So the Temperance speaks of balance, a balance between emotions and your heart, which we spoke about when we saw the Queen of Cups. I do feel as though you may have been approaching finding a partner from quite a logical place. And this reading is definitely saying open your heart, allow your heart to lead the way in this, right? And then some more cups, which is great. We have the cups and the Temperance as well. So this is a very love-based energy coming up in these cards. Then we have the Eight of Cups, which is about leaving things behind, right? So there's also a willingness on your part that needs to be cultivated to leave behind relationship lessons from the past, taking the wisdom, moving forward with that wisdom, but also knowing that the things that happened in the past do not need to happen in the future. Okay? There's a real need for you to glean the wisdom of past romantic experiences. Take them with you, the wisdom, as you move forward. Leave behind the pain, okay? Allow your past relationships to have taught you what you need in order to move forward. What I love about this card is this is a singular figure, right? This is a lone figure. Because this fulfillment is not found in your next relationship. This fulfillment is found in the process and in the journey. The fulfillment is found by garnering the wisdom and starting to move towards your true self. In finding your true self, you'll find your true partner, okay? And then the third card, so they kind of came out like this. And then the third card we had here was the Knight of Wands. So this is about our inner explorer, okay? In this reading, I'm really feeling it's about your inner explorer. It's about your desire to embrace life. It's about your desire to travel. It's about your desire to open up to new opportunities. And that does feel like it's what's needed for you. Allow yourself to go where your heart wants you to go in terms of your dreams, your creativity, your hopes, your ambitions. Allow yourself to be moved in the direction that you want to go, in a direction that makes you happy, okay? Because it's, when you're this fulfilled, when you're living your life so truly on your own terms, when you meet that person who's going to be compatible for you, it's going to be so much easier to recognize, okay? The emphasis is about you becoming you first, right? And then you'll find somebody who's done the same, okay? So, 3 more cards. So despite that hungering for adventure you may have, there is also a need to remain really grounded and know that if you want to welcome somebody new into your life, welcome a long-term relationship into your life, you also need to be thinking long-term. So you may have dreams and ambitions that are right to throw yourself into, right? With an awareness of where your long-term plans are leading you. Because if you want somebody to join you in your life, if you want somebody to join you in that long-term plan, you need to know what it is first, okay? And I feel as though by allowing yourself some time to work out exactly what it is that you want from your own life, so regardless of a partner, working out what you want from your own life, that will free you up from perceived limitations that may be blocking you from finding the said person. Now, this card kind of came out in reverse, and this is the card of family and long-term relationships, right? So one of the blockages may be that you've never necessarily seen a successful long-term relationship work, or you see few of them working around you, or there's a part of you somewhere that doesn't truly believe that like a long-term relationship is sustainable. And I think that is something that's hard to believe until it kind of happens, or until you meet that person, or until things pan out in that way. Because for those of us who've had long periods of singledom, it's like you kind of learn to realise that no matter how you love somebody, sometimes it doesn't always work out, right? So there's a slight healthy cynicism, I think, and a healthy jadedness that can begin to infiltrate, where we become a little bit sceptical about whether this long term exists. But definitely The more you've been through, the more you've worked through, the more wisdom you've gained, the more you are living your life for you and doing what makes you happy and fulfilled. That's actually when you're going to find that person who can accompany you and walk you through the rest of your life. Walk beside you through the rest of your life and you theirs. Because there's nothing more special than two people who have really experienced life coming together and walking together. Understanding and knowing the challenges that life can bring, understanding and knowing that life and relationships don't always pan out as you expect, but having that real commitment to each other. I really feel like that only comes through experience. I really do. I feel like I've become very dreamy in this reading. So I hope it's making sense to whoever's watching. Because I think I'm, embodying that energy like I always do when I read. I embody that energy of whoever I'm reading for. And I feel as though I'm embodying that energy of grace and flow and creativity, right? The 3 things I would say would be useful for you to cultivate in your search for a partner. So really, it's not really a search for a partner, it's the search for yourself. In searching for yourself, you're going to find that other person who's done the same and who's now ready to walk beside you, okay? It's like you need another person who's gone through this journey of self-love to accompany you after you've been through your journey of self-love. Because 2 people who've been through that journey of self-love, right, who've been through those challenges, who've been through some stuff, 2 people who come together after that with all of the knowledge and the wisdom they've gleaned and a willingness to live that, wow, most fulfilling relationship ever, okay? So I'm just going to pull one last card from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, because I love how dreamy and feminine it is. And even though it's not a love deck, it has kind of a love focus, right? Because we're looking for love focus, we're looking for self-love focus, right? We're not necessarily looking for a romance focus in this one. And this is the card. Now, this is interesting. I feel like this came up in something else quite recently, Sisterhood of the Rose. And I think it was that Who Are You Becoming reading that I spoke about earlier. So I'll try and link that in the description box as well, because this reading is very much about blooming, right? Blooming into who you are and allowing that person to be the person that meets your future person, right? So Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. So you need to embody that wise, purposeful self of yours, that soul-led, heart-led part of you that wants to experience life in all of its unique glory, unique to you, in becoming more of yourself, right? Simply becoming the fullest version of yourself. That is going to be what helps you draw in the energy of a compatible partner. Okay, I hope that helps. And I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. Okay, take care now. Bye.